So I'm going to be 100% honest here. The Fever can't afford to run it back. They can't. Um, they simply put do not have the funds to. Why does every time I go into roster does it send up a freaking AI question? But they don't have the funds to put their team together. Again. So I'm going to guess what these players are going to cost. I'm going to tell you what it will cost for the Fever to run it back. Before we get on to it, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are trying to hit 57,750 subscribers by the end of the day. We are 46 off. So Kelsey Mitchell is not, I highly doubt Kelsey Mitchell is going to play for 1 cent less than the Supermax. And I have a feeling she is going to be used, the core designation is going to be used on Kelsey Mitchell to guarantee she stays, and it will be a supermax for Kelsey Mitchell because there's 1 more year of the core designation. So with that, we are looking at $1.4 million for Kelsey Mitchell's contract. Odyssey Sims is not going to be coming back. Shout out Odyssey Sims, 27 points in Game 5 of the semifinals. Will not be coming back to the Fever. Why? Because her skill set clashes too much with Caitlin Clark and Leah Boston. If you get rid of gets rid of Caitlin. Her skill set clashes with Caitlin Clark, Leah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell. If Caitlin Clark is going to be traded, which we know she's not going to be, but obviously in this weird hypothetical, and someone's trying to sabotage the team, and they pull in Nico Harrison, Odyssey Sims would be great to have back. Odyssey Sims in the open market, based on how she did last year, is probably going to command. My guess is if I'm going to guess the median contract in the league is going to be about 450k. I would say she's going to command about 500-ish k, a little bit over the median. As will Ari McDonald. The problem with Ari McDonald is she has not been injured, or she has not been healthy at all in her career. I'm going to say they're not going to keep Odyssey Sims, but I'm also going to guess that just for argument's sake, they want to keep Ari McDonald. So Ari McDonald is going to be, she's going to be a bit higher than the median contract. I think she's going to be a little bit under the league, quote unquote, average. I'm guessing around 500k. Obviously she was out of the league, but Ari McDonald has been a solid player for pretty much her entire career when she's been on the floor. Injured right now, but it's this weird thing in the WNBA. They like to give money to injured players. It's very, very weird. Bree Hall won't be coming back, so let's just ignore her. Shea Petty won't be coming back. Natasha Howard. So Natasha Howard is going to want a max contract. She's not going to deserve a max contract. Some dumb team is going to give her a max contract. My expectation is that somewhere Natasha Howard is going to make 900k. And I don't think people want the Indiana Fever to run it back with Natasha Howard, but I have a feeling they're going to run it back. They're going to try to run it back with Howard. I have this really bad feeling they're going to try to run it back with Howard. Then you've got Aaliyah Boston. Aaliyah Boston's contract is going to be, she's going to make the max, and she's going to take the max, so add 1.2 million. We're at 4 million right now running it back. And this is like some of these on the lower end of what they're going to get. And by the way, you might be saying, oh, but well, let's not bring back Natasha Howard. I'm like, I don't really understand how you can replace Natasha Howard for somebody that's really cheap and it'd be a really good player. Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull. So, Sophie Cunningham, you're not going to get Sophie Cunningham for less than league average. You're just not. Like, she's somebody that is less reliant on being in the Fever ecosystem. She obviously wants to be there, but like, you might get a 100,000 hometown discount. But somebody is going to offer Sophie Cunningham a contract in the 650, 700k range. That is what she's going to be offered. My guess is the lowest amount of money that the Indiana Fever are going to be able to keep Sophie Cunningham for is 500k. I'm going to guess the median contract in the league. I'm going to guess 500k. Lexi Hull relies more on being in the Fever ecosystem, but because she is a restricted free agent, she might end up making a bit more money. Again, I think the lowest you're getting Lexi Hull for is 500k. Caitlin Clark right now is going to be at 500k. So you're looking at then, so we've got one player here in Caitlin, 2 in Lexi, 3 in Sophie, 4 in Leah, 5 in Howard, 6 in Ari, 7 in Kelsey Mitchell. You now no longer have, there is now, for a 7 million salary cap, this is just, again, based on my expectations. You now have to fill out the entire team with vet minimum players or lower, and you can't afford your first round pick. To run it back means the Fever literally, and that is by the way, undershooting what these players are going to go for. They're going to go for more money than this. I'm undershooting this. The remaining 5 players with Indiana Fever have to be vet minimums, which means that it doesn't matter who's that 10th pick is, they can't afford to keep them. Players on this team that will be vet minimums. KK Timpson is going to cost about $300K. I think she's going to cost the minimum if you keep KK Timpson. We have seen that Sid Colson and Bree Turner are going to command more than the minimum. Why? There are going to be young teams that want veteran presences there and are going to give them more than the minimum. We can't even right now afford to keep known commodities. You could keep Demir Stantis, because Demir Stantis on the court hasn't shown much, and there's no, from what we've seen, there's no like historical precedence of them being really good leaders and really good with young players. But the Fever can't afford, if they run this back, they can't even afford Bree Turner and Sid Colson. Chloe Bibby, yes, if they want to run a minimum. Ariel Powers will play on a minimum, because I don't know. You know what? She probably won't play on a minimum. Someone will sign her because she did a good job at the Fever. At the end of the day, we're now in a situation where the Indiana Fever might have to core and trade Kelsey. They might have to let Sophie or Lexi walk. And running it back is not even an option. Like, they might literally have to keep their first round pick, they might have to get rid of Kelsey Mitchell. Like, that is the extent of the financial issues, that they might actually have to get rid of Kelsey Mitchell to keep their first overall pick. With a lot of this team building, it becomes awkward. And then you take into account that Caitlin Clark's on a max next year. Like, you can't keep Kelsey Mitchell in 2027. And if you keep Kelsey Mitchell in 2027, someone did the maths and they're like, if Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark, and Leah Boston, if none of them take the Supermax and they all just take the regular max, even if 2 out of 3 are eligible for the Supermax, if they all just take the regular max, the entire team needs to be filled out with an average of the veteran minimum, which means that they can't even keep their 2027 draft pick. Like, if you have 3 players on a regular max, you literally have to have a bunch of second round draft picks, rookie minimums, and basically do what the Phoenix Mercury did last year. Except you're not going to be able to sign a Sammy Wickham. Basically do what the Mercury did last year. And the Indiana Fever are I'm not going to say the worst scouting team, but are up there in the worst scouting teams. They scout like it's 2015 again. So them, the Aces, the Sky, they don't scout overseas. They don't look for these players. Like, someone, like, you even look at the Lynx, like, they brought in Badian last year, who would have been fucking great for most teams. She just didn't want to come back after Eurobasket. There is a lot of talent overseas that you're going to have to look for, and the Fever aren't going to look for that. So what the Fever are going to end up doing is you're going to end up getting a bunch of below average American role players who were out of the league and probably were good 10 years ago. And it's a really tricky situation, but the Fever absolutely just cannot afford to run it back. I'll see you guys.